Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about grief and triggers. I lost my brother Aaron back in October 2009. He had cancer and he fought long and hard, and he just couldn't. There were nothing that they could do, and we lost him quite quick. He went downhill rapidly. We, for a long time, I think all of the family were all in denial. We all thought that they'd find a cure and that he'd be able to fight it, and we just clung on to hope. And when he went downhill rapid, when I say 1 minute he was walking about, the next he was bedridden and needed us to do everything, and he couldn't eat, and even them little petite filou yogurts, he couldn't even handle one of them. And I think that was one of the hardest things to see. He'd been so brave and he never cried in front of us anyway. He did have many conversations with me telling me how it felt and what it felt like to have chemo and how much pain he was in and just how fed up he was, but he never cried. And obviously all our life, Aaron had been the strong one. He had been the one to fix everything. Anything that happened, Aaron was the one to sort it out. And I relied on him a lot when I was growing up, even though, and obviously brothers and sisters that argue, do you know what I mean? Like any brother and sister does. But the life that we had made things a bit harder for us because of the abuse that me and Aaron received from my mum. But he fixed everything, and to see him not be able to fix something was heartbreaking. But when Aaron died, he passed away in my arms, and I had to basically tell him it was time to go and that it was okay to go. It was a lie because it wasn't okay to go. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And afterwards, I can't remember the days afterwards. I remember being on autopilot and just not, like, everything just gelled into one. But I had a little girl to look after. She was 5 months old and I was pregnant. So I had to do everything. And I had a little brother, and my mum kicked him out. Literally like days after my brother died. It might have even been the same day. I can't remember exactly. I just know that she kicked him out. And so I had him to deal with, and me kids, and obviously I was very poorly when I was pregnant, so it was pretty hard. I don't think I was strong enough to grieve for him at that time. A lot of people said that I did the strong thing and I put my kids first because they needed us. I couldn't crumble and grieve for my brother because who would have looked after my kids? Their biological dad wasn't very helpful. So, and when I had my son, he was extremely poorly. And I nearly lost my son. And I kicked out. That was my focus. I couldn't focus on me losing my brother because I had to deal with that there and then, and my son nearly lost his fight so many times. I can't even explain how it feels to have to give your son CPR. It's one of the hardest, that losing my brother is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, but then seeing my son nearly die and me have to breathe for him was soul destroying. And I don't think I felt strong enough to deal with both issues. I ended up being a single mom for quite a long time. In fact, it wasn't actually that long. I'd already met my husband when I was 14, but we fell out over stupid things. And my son was 5 months old when my husband came into our lives, and even then, I couldn't grieve for my brother. I never felt strong enough. I think I had all these other issues that had been going on. I'd never dealt with being sexually abused. I'd never dealt with the child abuse. So I couldn't, and they happened long before my brother died. So I think I needed to deal with them before I could even feel strong enough to deal with my brother's death. And in 2015, I went downhill. I relapsed on alcohol and I struggled bad. But I recognised the drink problem and I got help and I went to get counselling, and that helped me realise, it helped me come to terms with being raped. It helped me learn how to deal with it and how to move on and how to no longer be a victim. I'm not going to say that it doesn't affect us, because it does. It still hurts and there are triggers with that too. But I dealt with it, and then I went and got bereavement help. But I had to go on a wellbeing course because I wasn't in the right frame of mind. And I recently had one-to-one counselling to come to terms with the child abuse. I still don't think I've come to terms with it. It baffles me how any parent could ever hurt a child or put them in any kind of danger at all. I can't understand it. I don't think I ever will, and it is hard to accept that it happened to me. I think for a long time I was fearful of talking about it because it meant it happened. If I said it out loud, it was real, and that was hard. But the longer I kept things bottled up, the worse I was feeling. I couldn't focus on my kids, couldn't focus on my husband. I kept isolating myself because I describe it as, imagine a champagne bottle. It's full, it's fizzy, everything. Shake it up and shake it up and shake it up and shake it up. Eventually that is going to pop because there's that much pressure there. That's how I felt. I wouldn't allow myself to cry because I felt like I was being weak. I felt like I've got to be strong. But having the counselling has helped massively. And I started going to a bereavement support group last year. And they are like my second family. They've given me a safe place to go and talk about my brother, talk about my feelings, and understand it as well, because grief is like an angry river. You don't know what you're going to get. And in May, I started a bereavement workshop, which has helped massively. I now understand the stages. I've gone back and forwards because I feel like I can't go forward until I accept that my brother is gone and he's not coming back. And then I can move on. That doesn't mean to say that I ever want to forget him. I just need to get rid of this pain. And I've been scared to go to that because I know that grieving Aaron is going to be soul destroying. And it's been hard. I won't lie to you. Anybody that has lost anybody close to them or hasn't yet lost them, you will get there. You've just got to, if you feel like you can't cope, you have to go and reach out and get help, because having that support group, for me, they've been like my scaffolding, holding me up while I felt this crushing pain take the wind out my sails. And I felt over the past few weeks, since doing the bereavement workshop, I have talked more in depth about the day my brother died and his fight with cancer. I felt it was an unspoken subject between me and my dad. We My dad is still a bit in denial, and we never spoke about it. It just was not to go near, but I felt like we had to, for me, because I felt by me telling me brother that it was okay to die, that I'd give up too soon and let him give in. And me and Aaron, we are fighters. We've always been fighters, and we don't quit. So, and I felt like I'd told him to quit. So I've had grief. Well, I've felt responsible, and I've had that weighing down on me for so long that I couldn't cope with it. I felt guilty. I also had survivor's guilt, because while we were growing up with the hell that we went through, and everything, obviously, nobody knew what had happened to us really, until I was 17. But I kept trying to kill myself because I didn't want to be alive. I couldn't cope with the pain of being raped and abused. I just couldn't handle that. So I tried to kill myself, and I resorted to self-harm and alcohol, and I feel guilty that I didn't want to be here, yet my brother did. And how is that fair that it was me abusing myself, because that's what I thought I was worth, that I was abusing myself and doing all this shit to be stupid, pardon me French, stupid stuff to my body, when my brother was high on life. He was enjoying actually having food and money and being able to do stuff, and not having that weighing down on you that your mum is doing much of she's doing. He was enjoying himself. He had his full life ahead of him. He was doing stuff. He had a good job. He was enjoying it. And it is not fair that it was him and not me. And I've felt that for a long time. But I've come round a bit, and I feel like it was me that could have the children, and that's why I'm here. That's what I've been telling myself. He would be wanting me to grab life and just go with it and enjoy things, but it is hard. And since talking to my dad and getting rid of that weight that was on us, the guilt and the blame, I've felt lighter. I still haven't fully grieved, Aaron. I keep swaying back and forwards, but I've had a few good days. Like, I've had more good days over the past few weeks than I have bad. But then you get triggers. You can on them good days, you don't forget about them, but you kind of forget that they're gone. On them good days, you can allow yourself to enjoy life, but then you remember. And my trigger this week that's made me feel, I can't even explain how I feel. I was asleep the other night, and I had a dream that my brother was alive, and we were in contact every day, just as we were. It felt great, but then he went missing, and I was searching all over for him and couldn't find him. The police were involved, were searching everywhere, and then I managed to get a key to his flat, and I got in, and it had been it had been trashed, so I knew something was wrong. And then I found him lifeless, and I had to give him CPR, and I woke with a fright. I woke up I jumped, because it terrified me. I felt like it felt so real. I felt like I'd had my brother back, and then he were took again, if that makes sense. And I couldn't, that's knocked me this week. Over the weekend even, my mood has slipped, because it's made us, I thought I had him back, and he was took again, and I'm confused. And it made us, when I woke up, and that lump and that pain, that crushing pain in my chest, when I realised that he's not here and it's not real and it will never be real because he's gone. That pain, it's made us go back into my shell again. I've isolated myself. I stayed in all day yesterday. I couldn't cope. I didn't speak. I told my husband not to talk to us because I couldn't cope with being talked at. I couldn't. Everything felt fuzzy in my head. It still does. It's like it's foggy, and I don't know how to cope with anything. And it's hard. Triggers are so hard, and I don't know what to do now. I don't know how to pull myself back out of this feeling that I've got. I don't like it, and I don't want to be like this anymore. And I don't know what to do to get myself out of it. I just know that by talking to my grief group, that helps. So I thought, if I vlog how I feel and talk about how grief comes in waves, it's like the storm. It is like a storm. It comes and it thrashes you about, and then you think it's gone, and then it'll boom again, get you again, and it just deflates you. Anybody that has lost anyone and is struggling, I urge you to find a support group like what I've got. It hurts me that everybody at my group has lost somebody so very dear to them. And I hate that we've all gone through this. I hate that we've had to meet under such horrible circumstances. But I'm glad I've got them, because I don't know what I'd do without them. And it hurts me to think that everybody is going to feel like this at some point in their life, because it is a way of life. Death, it's all around we, and there's no getting away from it. But there needs to be more openness about how it really makes you feel. Because it's all consuming. It takes up everything. When nothing else can get in. It is literally, your life is that. It is just, the grief is just took over. And then life expands. Obviously, you've got your kids. The grief stays the same. In this circle, the grief hasn't changed at all. But my life has expanded around it, because I've got kids and I've got responsibilities. The grief is still the same. But when that grief comes in, when it comes, I'm not going to say that my kids don't matter, but I can't focus. I can't get my head on the game. And I don't like feeling it. And I know that my brother wouldn't want me feeling like this, but I don't know what I can do to feel better. It's frustrating. It really is frustrating, and it is hard. It gives us a headache. I am literally exhausted, because I thought I was getting better. I thought that I was handling things better. And then it's like, boom, did you forget? It's horrid. I can't wait for my grief group this week. I just feel like I need that support, because I feel beaten. So yeah, that's today. That's how I'm feeling today. This is what I wanted to show people, how it affects my everyday life. And if anybody has any ideas on how to finally conquer and get a bit of closure on it, so I can finally accept that he's gone and he's not coming back. I can't even allow myself to say that he's like I can't allow myself to say dead. It's hard. I'd rather just say he's gone, because it's too hard. Gone, you just think, oh, he's just got the shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, whereas saying that it's final, and maybe that might be the closure that I need, but I don't know if I'm ready. So if anybody has any ideas, or if you're feeling crap and need someone to talk to, feel free to drop a comment or a message, or message me Facebook page if you need a friend. I'm always happy to lend an ear. But thank you for watching. I hope you're all well. Much love.